People assume Social Security is untouchable, that once the money hits retirement age, nothing and no one can touch it. But what if I told you that millions of beneficiaries can legally lose up to 15% of their monthly check, and most don't see it coming? Before we go any further, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because we break down Social Security rules the way most media outlets don't, clearly, calmly, and without the hype. Now, this is not a rumor. It's not political speculation. And it's not about future proposals. This is about existing federal rules that are already in place. In certain situations, the federal government is allowed to withhold part of your Social Security benefits to recover unpaid debts. That reduction can be as high as 15% of your monthly payment, and it can happen automatically. No judge, no court hearing, no last-minute warning. For many retirees and disability beneficiaries, the first sign of a problem is a smaller check. And here's what makes this especially dangerous. Some of the people most at risk are those who believe they're completely safe. People who co-signed a student loan decades ago. People who assumed an old tax issue was resolved. People who never realized that federal debt works differently. In this video, we're going to explain how this works, who is actually affected, and what options still exist if your Social Security income is at risk. Because the goal here is not fear, it's clarity. And understanding these rules could protect hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year. For so many of us, Social Security feels like the one untouchable piece of our retirement, right? It's that check you've earned, your financial bedrock. But what if I told you that bedrock has a crack in it? There's a really critical exception to that untouchable rule, and it's something every single retiree needs to know about. So, let's just get right to it. Is that check truly protected from everyone and everything? The common belief is, yeah, absolutely. But the reality, well, it's a lot more complicated. And honestly, for a growing number of people, it's a lot more concerning. And this slide really nails the difference between what we think is true and what actually is. On the one hand, you've got the common belief. It's 100% protected. And look, it's true that your benefits are shielded from most private creditors. You know, credit card companies, medical bills, that sort of thing. But here's the catch. When the creditor is the US government itself, the rules of the game change completely. And that brings us right to the heart of the matter, the federal exception. You can think of it like a legal trapdoor. While most creditors are locked out, this exception allows the government to reach right in. And it is crucial to understand how and when that can happen. The whole basis for this is federal law, specifically things like the Debt Collection Improvement Act. So the law basically builds this protective shield around your benefits. But it also creates a special direct path for the government to collect on what it's owed right out of your Social Security check. So how do they do it? Well, this is the main tool they use, the Treasury Offset Program, or TOP for short. I want you to think of TOP as a master key. While private creditors are locked out, this program can unlock the door and redirect a piece of your benefits to pay off specific delinquent federal debts. And this is the number you really need to burn into your memory, 15%. For certain federal debts, the government can take up to 15% of your monthly Social Security check. So, if you're getting, say, $2,000 a month, that's $300 just gone every single month. That is a significant hit for anyone. Okay, so what kind of debt actually pulls this trigger? It's not your car loan or a department store card. The list of debts that qualify is actually very specific, and these are the ones you absolutely need to be aware of. This table breaks it all down pretty clearly. The two most common triggers: defaulted federal student loans and unpaid IRS taxes. You can see they both have that 15% cap we just talked about. And for student loans, notice that key detail. This can kick in after about 9 months of missed payments. Child support is another big one, and the rate can actually be even higher. And finally, if the Social Security Administration itself accidentally overpays you, you better believe they have the right to claim that money back from your future checks. And here it is. This might be the single most important distinction to understand. If a credit card company wants to garnish your wages, they have to take you to court and get a judge's approval. But for these federal debts, the government gets to skip that step entirely. Once your debt is delinquent, they can just start the process. That's a tremendous amount of power. Now, this isn't just some abstract legal theory. It has a profound impact on real people. So let's talk about the human side of this and why it's becoming a much bigger issue right now. I mean, for somebody living on a fixed income, losing even a small chunk of their Social Security check can be catastrophic. We're not talking about luxury money. We're talking about money for rent, for groceries, for life-saving medication. And get this, the law does protect the first $750 of a monthly benefit. But that number hasn't been updated for inflation in decades. So even with that so-called protection, a 15% cut can still push people into serious financial trouble. And the timing of all this is really key. You know that pandemic-era pause on student loan payments? Well, that's over. Collections are back. And that means a wave of older Americans, some of them are still carrying student debt from decades ago, either for themselves or for their kids. They are suddenly facing this risk for the very first time. And look, this isn't some far-off threat. It is happening right now. Federal data actually confirms that these forced collections are a significant and, more importantly, a growing trend. As more and more people hit retirement age, still carrying this debt, more and more are getting caught in this net every single year. Okay, so that's the problem, and it's a serious one. But, and this is important, you are not powerless here. So, let's shift gears and talk about the most important part of this whole explainer, your action plan. Here's exactly what you can do to protect your benefits. The single most important thing you can possibly do is be proactive. It sounds so simple, but ignoring that official-looking envelope from the government is the absolute worst mistake you can make. Before a garnishment starts, you'll usually get a notice of intent to offset. Open it, read it. I promise dealing with a problem at that stage is a million times easier than trying to reverse a garnishment that's already happening. So, your action plan really just comes down to these 3 steps. It's that simple. First, identify any federal debts you might have. Second, contact the agency in charge to find out your exact status. And third, explore your options right away before they decide to take action. If it's federal student loans you're about, you have some really powerful tools. Income-driven repayment plans can slash your payment sometimes all the way down to $0 a month. Loan rehabilitation can get you out of default status, and in some situations, you might even qualify for a hardship exemption. The key is, you have to raise your hand and ask for these things. It's a similar story if you're facing a tax debt. Don't panic. You have the right to appeal a levy notice. You can almost always set up a manageable payment plan, and sometimes you might even be able to negotiate what's called an offer and compromise to settle the debt for less than what you owe. Again, taking action is everything. All right, let's bring this all home with the final takeaway. Think of this as a quick but really vital financial health check. The bottom line is this: your Social Security is a lifeline for sure, but it is not a fortress. It can be breached, but awareness is your best shield. By understanding these very specific risks and knowing what your options are, you can build the best possible defense to protect your retirement income. So, I'll leave you with this one simple direct question, and it's not meant to scare you. It's meant to empower you. Do you know your federal debt status? Just take a second and think about it. And if the honest answer is, I don't know, well, now is the perfect time to find out. If there's one takeaway from today's video, it's this: Social Security is reliable, but it is not untouchable. For most beneficiaries, payments arrive on time and in full. But for those with unresolved federal debts, the rules change quietly, and the consequences can be severe. What makes this issue so dangerous is that it often affects people who least expect it. Retirees who have been budgeting carefully for years suddenly face a reduced income with little room to adjust. The good news is that options still exist. In many cases, garnishment can be reduced, paused, or even avoided entirely if action is taken early enough. But that requires awareness, communication, and understanding how the system actually works. If this video raised concerns for you or someone in your family, the most important step is to verify your situation. Know whether you have federal debts, understand their status, and don't ignore official notices. This channel exists for exactly this reason, to explain the rules before they become problems. If you found this information useful, take a moment to like the video. It helps us reach more people who need clarity, not confusion. And if you have questions, share them in the comments. Many others are in the same situation, even if they don't talk about it openly. We'll keep covering what actually affects your money, without hype and without surprises.
Hello there. Are you currently navigating the complexities of retirement, or perhaps rapidly approaching that significant life milestone? The Retiree's Handbook is your dedicated YouTube guide for all retirement and pension news right here in the United States. It's crucial to stay informed about your financial future. We cover understanding pension benefits and maximizing your Social Security, ensuring you have the knowledge you need. Our channel provides actionable financial tips for retirees, helping you confidently make the most of your golden years. Don't miss vital information that impacts your peace of mind. Join our growing community today. Thank you for watching. Your financial security and retirement is incredibly important, and we're here to help you every step. Please subscribe to the Retiree's Handbook channel to never miss our latest updates and valuable insights. Join our community for continuous support, future pension news, and helpful resources to empower your retirement journey.